And with that, we go to our final map. Chat, any thoughts so far?
Ready for battle.
Why alarm tranced so quickly? I mean, I can't go back now, but... Why it tranced so quickly? What could have possibly forced a trance? Save a tank. Save a tank. Maybe he was low himself. Use trance as a bit of like a mobility tool, like we talked about in the past. Don't know. So what are we seeing? Masa and Faniastro both playing the Lucio. So why are we seeing the Lucio instead of Zenyatta? The reason is because lacking a lot of great sight angles for Zenyatta here. I mean, there's so many things you can hide around, so many small spots you can play. Like, it's hard for Zenyatta to like walk around the corner unscathed. So Lucio ensures that you can play ring around the Rosie. It's a very small point, so it's easy to play ring around the Rosie with Lucio. If a team played Zenyatta, you could just easily like speed and catch up with them because there's not a lot of space to play defensive and maneuver around. So Lucio's coming out of both teams because it's a narrow, short point. What the preposterous hell is this? Is that even legal?
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Teleporter online. I have opened
Justice ain't gonna dispense it.
Goodbye, team. You do you, fam. Atlanta should scout where Carpe is. They should see if he's with the rest of the team or not. Dogman tries to use fancy boots. Gets denied. What's up, Daddy Sen? Interesting username. I am, in fact, doing a VOD review.
The objective is now.
And from here on out, should be a one fight. Because you got a simple pick onto Dogman. You're playing mirror compositions, you have a 6 versus 5 advantage. You should win those. Edison is stuck, or Erster is stuck with Mei behind. Doesn't get that kill though. Carpe should have helped his friend. Carpe should have stayed with Faniastro and gotten that pick. Allows Atlanta to still have a say in this fight. See how this plays out. Atlanta with the superior space right now. Gets a pick onto Ivy. I mean, this was very interesting, right? Because you got a pick onto Dogman. Dogman's back now. Now Philly is in a mad disadvantage. I can't believe they didn't pressure that advantage more. Yeah, they should have gotten the pick on Erster with Carpe. Why was Dogman there when Carpe could so easily get him? I don't think Dogman scouted out that Carpe wasn't with the team, so he didn't anticipate a flanking McCree. Naturally, when you see a deathball composition just walk around the map, you kind of just assume all 6 members are there. So, was a mistake from Atlanta to identify that Carpe was not with his team, and then Carpe just kind of snuck up behind. Philly probably gave the call to Carpe that Atlanta were rotating towards him, and that's why you saw him crouch and hide. Wouldn't really call it flanking. Yeah, but I mean, he came from behind. What do you want to say? He played a straight up fight from behind. Okay, this, you know, it is what it is. So Rain knows now that they have point control, which forces Philly to act, and Philly can't really stand here and just take that damage. Like, it's not great. Like, they're playing mirror, so I guess they could. They also have an amplification matrix, but it's not how you want to play this comp. How you want to play this comp is try to find the superior angle and not really stand on the point, because it's just you're very exposed if you play on the point. So you want to play around the point and try to find the right angle. Interesting here, we see Fusion split into 2 groups. So They're probably trying to split up and flank around the rain. You're going to see this. You're going to see this flank come out from Sado, which is a mobile shield. Orisa's shield is immobile, so it's harder to flank with an Orisa. A Reinhardt's shield is mobile. You have a Lucio for the speed boost to surprise the opponents better, and you have a Maywall to split up the supports from the tanks. And then you're going to see this part of the team, a very stable part of the team. A lot of AoE healing from Alarm. Can shoot his healing gun, but also use the AoE heal. You have Fury on the Orisa, stable tank, Fortify, solid shield, and Carpe to flashbang, just stand still with the rest of his team. This is going to be the stalwart part of Philly's team, while you have a mobility flanking team. And now they're going to try to slice up Atlanta and find themselves in a position advantage, fighting from 2 angles against Atlanta's core as one. So, as many times throughout this series we've said, 2 groups against 1. And they're trying to find that advantage by playing 2 groups. So, Fury gets picked. So, interestingly enough, Atlanta recognizes this. And it's what we see from Busan earlier. So like Atlanta, they're like, okay, well, if you want to split up to 3 groups, I know these are not the 3 groups, but you want to split up to 2 groups. If you want to split up 3 and 3 to try and find your advantage, Philly, to recapture this point, we're going to deny you that advantage. We're not going to allow you to set up in time to be able to fight from both angles. So instead of being passive in here and waiting for Philly to come here, Philly to come here, Atlanta decides to be proactive rather than reactive and fights outside of the box and just punishes the stable part of Fusion. Because they can't allow to wait for Fusion to set up and have the advantage. So they push out and are proactive. And that's their advantage in this fight. Here's the flanking group. The flanking group kind of gets caught off guard. Core concepts. So again, Atlanta going to take position in the hut. The lighthouse. I don't know what this is. Chat, what is this? What is this building? What is it like? What is its real life purpose? It should have a name. There should be a nameplate, like right up here. So let's see. What are Fusion doing? Are they again going to split up to 2 groups? 2 groups of 3? Or are they going to play straight up? Possible to do breakdowns with Chengdu? Check out Sideshow's channel. He's probably done some. He can probably make sense of the madness. So again, flanking core, stable core. So Philly are still hooked to this idea of being split into 2 groups, while Atlanta is one solid group. Atlanta trying to apply pressure. They're still trying to chase this solid group. And because they apply that pressure, because Atlanta pushed out and are being proactive, Fusion recognized that, like, hey, we can't. We have to play as a team. Because Atlanta are not giving us the space needed to do our thing when we split up to 2. So they finally pick up the Fury. Because of the supercharger, being proactive. Great stuff from Atlanta. It's very basic stuff from Overwatch. Very basic Overwatch stuff. I'm interested as to why Fusion are just not like fighting this straight up. I think over time now, you tried your thing, split into 2 groups of 3. Atlanta are not letting you. It's time to just kind of have a proper death ball kind of composition fight. But you see the High Noon, Gravitic Flux, Amplification Matrix. Philly hasn't really put pressure on Atlanta so far. Because Atlanta have won these fights so cleanly, because they get to dictate the fight they want, and they just kind of get to clean up, that they haven't been forced to use ults. So now, obviously, this fight is super hard. We're just kind of seeing ultimates being traded out. This is a bit of a ranked experience. A lot of clustering, walking around. Sato's kind of forced to do whatever. The 3-3 split with Rush Comp is good this meta to punish the Sigma, but that's really hard in this map and when enemy has a Lucio. Yeah, I agree. It's too narrow of a map. If it was a wider map, then maybe. We saw that on Hanamura a little bit, I think, when Fury played by himself. And you can just kind of chase the Sigma down, because the Sigma is way more exposed on the Hanamura defense than he is right there in that square.
Capture the objective.
So this is interesting. This is interesting. Junkrat, Brigitte. Do not like this. If you're playing the Junk, I would have preferred to see the Sen. Junk in the Torb. Yeah, I can see that. The way I like to look at Brigitte here is she's a character that empowers other characters. So like in the past, throughout the series, we've seen Brigitte empower Edison's Tracer. To me, this Brigitte pick feels like the core idea is just like Brigitte is just going to empower Junkrat. We're picking Junkrat. It's an unorthodox pick. Tracer is a pretty unorthodox pick too, but we're using the Brigitte to empower our yeah, you get the fucking point. To make it work. So we'll see how this plays out. My gut also tells me if they're playing Brig over Sen, that most teams are probably playing Lucio on this map in scrims. So like even if we've seen Masa do this mistake of playing too much Brig throughout the series, it tells me that a lot of teams are playing Lucio and we want the Brigitte to shield us off when that engage happens. So could be a educated guess. Fusion, of course, has a speed advantage because they have the Lucio. They want to be the engaging team here. They want to kind of death ball over Rain, over Atlanta, and utilize that speed. It's going to be a bit more difficult now when all of Atlanta are the high ground, but ultimately they'll probably be able to push them down either through contesting point, or through a flank or a wall or a pull. Some kind of way to get Atlanta off this high ground. So let's see what they opt for. Kind of standing, point is open. Oh, they found a pick on the Carpe. And now Atlanta are instead going for the point. This is dangerous. I mean, you have to go to the point, right? But as soon as they go to the point, Philly are like, this is the time to strike. Atlanta are forced to split up. We're going to use this time to move around. We were scared when they were grouped as 6, but when they're split, now, not as much anymore. Atlanta recognizes this, drops towards the point because they don't want to be caught by the death ball. Gator survives through Fortify. Great Maywall. That's pretty innovative. I mean, it's pretty basic at this point, but still, it's so very impressive to me that teams still do it. Erster gonna be caught.
The objective is now active.
He kind of minds himself up to get booped. Nice. What ultimately wins, do you think? Lucio or Brig? Probably with Maywalls, I think Lucio. But I mean, you're running into a Junkrat, Batiste, McCree, etc. Like, there's a lot that could go wrong if you're playing the Lucio. But I think Lucio is probably the superior pick. We've seen this time and time again, that playing poke compositions is all about throwing your opponents off guard. So Junkrat, I think, could be a viable pick here if it's worked at dealing with Lucio teams in the past. Because you're kind of like trying to throw off the Lucio teams. by picking something different and force them to navigate around it properly. And that's sometimes how it goes. But again, we can look at that and see how the Lucio sort of enables Philly to play on this. So obviously Urster dies. There's a crucial part of Rain's composition, probably like the most, like that's what it's built around. It's not the most important character, but that's what it's built around. But like we're seeing Ring around the Rosa again, we see Maywall up here, and now Philly has the positional advantage, and they have the better death ball composition, and they're going to utilize this to just run over an Atlanta squad that is just kind of trying to peel and back away. They're trying to peel and back away. So, but Philly just has the better composition, and they're going to win. Not only because of the boop, but because, like, what do you do here as Rain? Like, you don't have your Junkrat, your 5 people. Philly are just going to run over you. It's a tactical win, as well as an incredible individual play from Funny Astro. Fusion does a good job of pulling and running on McCree. Pulling and running, is that a new term, or do you simply mean stalling people? Like, is that the thing with like the pull and like the shot in the air or some shit, or? Sorry, I'm Swedish, Dream. I'm Swedish. Alright, so Philly are just kind of protecting the point here. They have the death ball composition and they're just protecting the point. Atlanta needs to find a way. I mean, they're playing the main now, which is neat. Atlanta probably wants to split off the team. 3 and 3. A lot of pressure goes into the May wall right here. This Torb is also going to be really annoying from Carpe. Because if Atlanta pushes in and even gets a split, Carpe is going to be like a thorn in the back. Oh! The big plate! Oh! Urster! Oh no, the boop! Oh, he misses a shot! Oh no! The mega! Good save by Funny Astro. Baby Bay going to High Noon. High Noon to like kind of make space. They recognize that Filio is pushing. We want to use High Noon to have them back off. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. That shatter hurts. That shatter will make your hip dislocate. Holy shit. But, I mean, you can see Philly just deathballing. They're just like, okay, well, we're going to run over you. So we're going to use Immortality Field aggressively. We're going to Blizzard, etc. We're just going to run you over. Because we have the better composition. And we have good ultimates. They just pull him and hold W past the Reacher Shield. Makes it hard for Baby Bay to live, even if they're gonna get booed. True. Every time Getter puts down the forward Reacher Shield, Fusion instantly pulls and runs on them. Thank you, Dree, for the insightful analysis. I do appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around in the chat. You love to see it. Supercharger to make space. Don't know if this is going to net a ton of value. Because, I mean, again, Philly are playing the Lucio. So they're like, okay, well, you put down Supercharger. We nope the hell out. Opportunity for Atlanta, though. Philly split. Can use this to push on point. Carpe is playing pretty close. Can use this to get a pick on him, maybe. Solo's going to come in. So we're just going to see a 6-on-6 kind of fight. Atlanta has good ultimates here. So does Fusion. All comes down about Funny Astro's Sun Barrier. Here it comes. Boom. So trading tank ultimates. Brigitte finally getting used. Here's the rally. It's going to be close for this close range combat. Molten Core comes out. Another great one. We're just kind of trading ultimates here. We're just having a good time playing Overwatch, trading ultimates in a scrappy fight. Window from alarm. A lot being used here. Philly wants to close this out. Erster using the blizzard. A bit too late. He probably just got it. Turret kills him. The turret kills Erster. Oh no, the turret! Funny Astro. Teabag. And that's all. That's all she wrote.
Score 1-1.
Oh. Okay, Nightbot, calm down. Calm down, my dude.
5, 4.
Holy shit. VOD reviewed for 2.5 hours. This one match. And 2 first point holds. This shit's taking forever. I remember this. I remember the start to this map. Or do I? Maybe I don't. Kind of just seeing both teams trading right here. So it's not about Corp at all. Corp whiffing? Eh. It's called damage over time. So Fusion playing the Lucio here gains them more space for the initial fight. That, however, shouldn't be a huge problem for Rain because they don't mind taking the close-up fight. What is a big problem for Atlanta, though, is that as you push and sort of try to kill this group, you're going to Alarm over here, Funny Astro over here, and Carpe over here. So even when you're playing this Brig, you like taking this fight. You like taking this fight. But because there's so many split-up factors, it's harder for Atlanta to really capitalize with their comp and make it happen because they're exposed to so many other things. So Sato kind of goes down in HP, but it doesn't get picked. Philly secures point because they have a Lucio and got that space. Immortality field goes down in an area where you Carpe can't shoot it. Taking the head-on fight. Great Maywall from Ivy. Set them up. And you can use Immortality Field safely because it hasn't been forced. So, yeah. Pretty much was what Dream said. The idea that Dream presented in chat is you kind of want to pull with your Orisa. You want to pull for Carpe. So, you pull like around this pillar. Like here or here. And that forces the Immortality Field out from Dogman. Or, I mean, the same with Gator. Like, Gator pulls and Baby Bay, you know, whatever. Like, you want to get the Immortality Fields out. And they kind of just run them over based on that good Maywall. So, good Maywall from Ivy. I haven't liked his ult so far this series, but his Maywall has been pretty good, so. God damn. Baby Bay now on Widow. This is not him. This is him. Looks for picks. This is where Gator's pull need to happen. He's dead. I think he took an icicle to the face and then some cleanup. Free time. Free real estate. What the fuck, Funny Astro? Scouting for a Maywall. There it is. See the Blizzard come out. Can you get any value? Good Immortality Fields from Dogman. I know it's very basic shit, but I like they're good positioning, you know? So Philly actually gets over eager here. They drop the Immortality Field. Wait, what the fuck? Go, 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 go. Go! They're fighting! Go! Press F1? Yeah, but that would have been way less fun in chat. I got 2 lols. It was worth it. Cash money heroes. So, Philly just trying to... Ooh, Stato! Ah! They get a pick from Gator from the Blizzard, okay? Dogman still Shatter, but Sato with a bad Shatter gets caught out. Trade. Fury. Counter Blizzard from Erster. So, yeah. Philly kinda gets overeager. Rain does a good job peeling back. Counter Blizzards. Hawk gets that pick. Dogman goes down, which is not optimal. But Rain kind of wins by playing their slower composition. And just hiding behind protection and counter-engaging, sort of. So, solid stuff. See, Baby Bay can work some of these angles. Now when they have position in space. Ooh. So what do we want to see happen here? Double tank ults from the Atlanta Rain. Sound barrier from the fusion. Gravitic flux to engage. Takes the initiation. Forces fusion to drop their own sound barrier and the supercharger. I mean, you're just kind of trading ults. Do I like the timing of that supercharger? Yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't have liked the timing of that supercharger usually, but because the gravitic flux gets rid of so much Lucio shield, like the Lucio shield is already like neglected by the time you drop this supercharger. So typically, as soon after a Lucio ultimate, I would have preferred to wait a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I'm probably wrong because you still want that damage over time to kill the Lucio shield faster. And hold this area. You don't wanna risk the Lucio shield getting value and you being pushed back, and then you can't use supercharger here. So actually, it's probably right to use it here because you don't wanna delay it and be pushed back and put it in an inferior position. This is a great supercharger position because you're walled here and you can kind of hold this corner. So never mind the past 15 seconds of my commentary. Baby Bay has a wall act. I keep pressing 2 when I mean 8. They cannot push off and get picked here. So they use that sound barrier to help get them this space. Shame that Baby Bay... I don't know if Baby Bay hits any shots in that gravitic flux, which is probably what you want. Carpe kinds of pops. Where's Carpe? He's dead. Okay, but he was here. He took an icicle to the face. But I mean, Philly kind of played in a position that was good for Carpe here. Like, he has some angles here, you know? I'm worried. I'm keen to see Baby Bay's angle throughout that gravitic flux. So yeah, I mean, there's a Reinhardt shield in the way. You can't do anything about that.
No one can hide from
Doesn't get that
my
headshot.
sight.
Don't think it had mattered. Now you want to see some pull from Gator, perhaps. Oh, he just used it. No, he's using it now. What does the... Pull doesn't get any value. Good headshot. I mean, that's just a pull fire strike combo, right? To use the amplification matrix. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Pull, amplification matrix, fire strike, boom. Basic stuff coming out from Philly. It looks clean though. So, Good stuff from Philly. Good combo. Getting closer to the last fight. No ultimates for the side of Atlanta Reign. They kind of want to play slow here. You want to stagger the points. You can get Ursa ultimate up. Amplification matrix. Maybe allow for a fire strike or something. At the same time, you have to avoid... Ooh, great pick from Bebe. Good flank. But now you have to avoid Carpe. Ah! Shoot! Ooh! Immortality field allows Dogman to keep this flank. Or like this side angle open so he can heal his team. They're trying to really push this advantage with alarm down. This is not great for Atlanta though. You cannot... This is not great, Hawk. You're using so many defensive. You've used Immortality Field, Ice Block, and Hawk is down. Yeah, that's not great. What happened to Gator? I think Gator is key in this fight. He just gets killed by the Carpe. So yeah, you lose that primary shield. And then a Hawk kind of tries to go aggressive. And it's just like an overtime kind of fight. Drone up for that combo. Maybe he had. But that's all she wrote. That was kind of a scrappy last fight. But a scrappy last round. But there's a lot of stuff going on with Widowmakers on both sides. Some weird points sinking into the ground kind of map design. You know, it's complicated. But yeah. That's about it for that match. Closing thoughts. Didn't help Atlanta played that Brigitte as much. Fusion likes to deathball. Ivy had some skeptical Mei ultimates, but some great overall Mei walls. Fury had some skeptical gravitic fluxes, but Fury is really good at... I mean, you can tell Fury's experience with D.Va because he's good at contesting high ground. There was a lot of times in the match where I think Fury had secured high ground for Fusion, and that gave them a positional advantage, which helped them later on. Hawk still like a bit, you know, gives and takes kind of thing. Carpe pops as usual, plays super solid. Philly seem very smart. They have fantastic shot calling. They know the compositions they take, good adaptations. But also love the initiation from Atlanta. It felt like a lot of time Atlanta were like, you know, a lot of time teams can just kind of fall flat and just get dealt with. But I feel like Atlanta a lot of the time they initiated, they knew their win condition, and they played well around it. So I don't think they fell flat in any regard. I think Atlanta played a good game. Specifically when they played the Senyara Baptiste. On Dorado, their defense looked really good. And some skeptical stuff from Philly. But overall, a great match. A lot of strategical and tactical adaptation. Big picture stuff. Not so nitty-gritty like ability usage, but a very entertaining match. I really enjoyed it. So that was a really good match. Really good. I mean, Hanamura was a bit of a cluster stuff, but any matches you're looking forward to this week with shorter prep time? I mean, there's no like real great matches this week, honestly. Like, all of them are pretty one-sided. I really look forward to Gladiators versus Valiant, because I think this meta might really suit the Valiant. And so I think with shorter prep time, that's going to force Gladiators to play a really good game. I think Valiant will be really good if we see this kind of meta. But I could be wrong. You probably know better than me, Dream. But I think Gladiators are hands down the favorite in that match, but Valiant might make it really close or actually win. Because it's, if it's this meta. I don't even know what the meta is, so I don't know what it's going to be. But if I'm right, then I could see that being a close game. I also need to watch more Asian games. Like, I can't watch the Asian games because they're the night before Watchpoint. So, I have to sleep during the Asian games. But I usually look at Sideshow stream for that because he likes reviewing those matches. So I'd rather just watch them as he reviews them because it saves me time. Spark Dragon Story Charge Spark could be good. Yeah, I mean Charge Spark is are two even teams that could be really entertaining to watch. Slow comp this week. Hanzo Tracer, I think they'll be really good. Yeah. They did play Big Goose on Lucio against the Shock, did they not? So they kind of like that faster tempo, right? I think that fits. Gladiator's style a bit more, so that could be interesting. I don't think we'll see Mirror as much. Have they said when Echo can be used in all? I do not know. Hanzo Tracer from them in Florida, they're both really good at it. Oh, Florida are really good at that. Then, I mean, they're not going to beat Paris, but Florida being good might be exciting for once. I'll probably review that game then. I want to see it. I want to see Hanzo Tracer like really work. I know they played Hanzo Tracer against Shock. I think the first time they won, but there was also no Lucio in the pool then, so Shock were kind of like having a hard time working around it. Personer, I will keep that in mind. I gotta go though. I have rehearsal in 10 minutes. What do Defiant need to do to actually be good? I don't know. I probably should sit down and break down a Toronto game properly. Because on paper, you feel like they would have the talent. I think they played some interesting and good compositions against Houston Outlaws. I think Houston was the superior team on Lijiang Tower. I think Muma had a better Reinhardt than Beast had, which contributed a lot. But still, like you'd feel like Toronto would kind of, be up there. I didn't like what Toronto were doing on attack on Rialto. They were kind of beat by Dante's Tracer and couldn't really engage or move around it. They could have swapped up their composition in my mind, done a few things differently, so they didn't really adapt, and they just got full held by Houston without even going through the choke, which made me really upset watching that. Then I think you kind of get boomed when you get full held on Rialto like that. Like, you kind of get boomed. That being said, they had a solid defense. Like, okay, you got wrecked by Dante's Tracer on first point. You adapt, you play the Torb, and then you hold Houston for like, I don't know, 5 minutes on point B. So they adapted and played well. They just got stuck on attack on Rialto. And I can't remember. They played Paris, right? I can't remember what happened. Anyway, I gotta go. I got rehearsals to do ahead of Overwatch League this week. So that was a VOD review of Philadelphia Fusion and Atlanta Reign. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please follow the channel if you enjoy the content. These will go up on YouTube. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. You guys were lovely. I'm gonna press that button. Who's streaming? Who do I host here? Hope for Defiant still. Yeah, that could be good. No one's streaming. No one is streaming. Sad. How many viewers do I have? 200. Solid. Oh, Cruz is streaming. Yeah, I'll rate Cruz. Alright. I'm rating Cruz. I hope you all have a good day. Make sure to follow the channel if you enjoy the content. Take care, everyone. I might be back later tonight with some other stuff. We'll see. Much love to you all. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. Love you all. Rating Cruz. Join the raid. Join the raid. Join the raid. Go!